I want to say welcome back. Just had a quick break. Um, if you didn't catch the first show, um, sorry. But you catch the second show, I'll go back and watch it. We had Scott Hanselman on last night. Um, 2022 is in effect. How you doing, D?
I'm good. How are you this afternoon?
Oh, it got a little, just a
Huh?
little thing. Turn down a little bit.
Turn down my volume.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to barely be able to hear you.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Can you
Did you?
turn down your volume as well? Let's
Mm-hmm.
see how high you have yours up.
I'm midway.
Okay, I'm like at 3.
Okay. Either way it go. Yeah, could
Hmm?
have been some. I said
How's
either
it
way it
now?
go. It's still kind of airy, but I
That's
think
the fans.
yeah, that's what I was saying. It's kind of airy.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that's my fans.
that's all right. Could have been somewhere else, but you are here. You are back. Of course, we got plenty of information. I stay with information. I stay with what we um try to bring. Um, I think you know who we are. I'm Tamika. This is no, and yeah, D. Yeah, I like it better when it's up or
You're
down.
usually on the other side.
Yeah, 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 that's right. D. Yeah. And we're Women in Linux. Where we are a nonprofit where we talk about everything tech related, tech centered, uh, interest in real estate, interest in a lot of things that make money. I want to say, and your health. We even talk about
I think the
foods.
purpose of the show is always we show you the tech and all things. I
Well,
think
we
that's
show
what
the
makes us unique.
we show the tech and all things, but we don't. We talk about investments,
We do. We
mental
do.
health, being mentally whole, how to show up,
We
how
we
to
are
show up
namaste.
as your authentic self. But um um Anton Daniels was talking this morning, and I had jumped in the chat, and that kind of sparked what I was talking about earlier on the first show. But to not to reiterate, but to also bring over, I want to make sure that we always have that as a theme is being um being successful is okay, and being for some of you you may and could be the first ones to go to college, or you could be the first ones to ever see over $100,000. And some people just don't know what that looks like, and because they've never seen it, so they don't even know how to accept you with it. That's how I want to look at it. And you don't even accept yourself with it when you before you get there, but after you get there, if you like anything like me, I wonder what else I can do. I wonder how much more I can make. I wonder where this can take me. And you start doing that, right? So you got to first get in the game, and that get in the game actually comes from my mom. She's like, she used to always tell me, she would always tell me like, you got to get in the game. She's like, when she was used to tell me growing up, we as black people, we not even in the game. She's like, we ain't even in the stadium. Right, growing up. So that has always stuck with me about getting in the game and being in the stadium. Right. Um, I I hope and pray that you take what's available to you more than ever before. I mean, and D could even see the difference in what's being offered to you in terms of scholarships and opportunities in tech from when she started. So you can only imagine from when I started.
Oh, and it's been less time than what you started. It's only been 5 years,
Right.
and the possibilities are boundless as far as the free training.
Mm,
At this stage in the game, it is just carving out the time to even take a look at it. I know
mm-hmm.
people ask a lot of questions about what they should be doing, how they should be doing it, and mapping out a path. But we were talking to Scott yesterday, and it was, it's more about discovering the technology and what works for you, because a person can map out your plan for you, and you get on this path and you're like, I hate it. And I mean, I don't know how many of you all went to college, but you guys go to college and you have this major. And of course, the first 2 years, you're taking your prereqs before you get into the meat and potatoes of it. And then you're like, I don't even want to do this. I don't even want to do this. I don't have the same passion. And
Mm-hmm.
luckily, with technology, it affords you the possibility to find what you enjoy, and to explore that path and find opportunities where you want to be. And just honestly, what you want to do sometimes hasn't even been created yet.
And sometimes you create it.
And sometimes you create it. It might not be working for a company. It might be developing something on your own. And what does that look like? So please don't get caught into, I have to get, a certain amount of certifications, and I have to do this, and this is what is needed of me. You can chart your own path and do that. I got a couple of certifications and things that I just knew I wanted to do. And after I finished that time commitment, I was like, that's not my testimony. That's not
Mm-hmm.
where I see myself, and I don't enjoy it. And so, we kind of get caught up in the end goal about the money, but like Harley Davidson says, it's about the journey. It's about the ride. You can get to point A to B, but what's in between? And we're not saying it's not going to take any hard work. It's not we're not saying it's not going to take any sacrifice. But there's options out there for you. And for those who didn't catch the earlier show, Tam, you know, you were very poignant in saying that, you just have to be careful about who you surround yourself with. And, sometimes those people are not going to be on the same income level. They're not going to be um, in the same um, industry that you are in, but finding your tribe that encourages you to move forward. And like I say, your biggest fan. Like, I'm Tam's biggest fan, whether she knows it or not. And that's always been my friendship. Like, man, I want, and all my friends, whether I speak to them every day or not, if they don't know, I'm like their biggest cheerleaders. What they want to do, how can I help you along that way? Plug in. I want to see you win,
Mm-hmm.
because if when you win, I win, and
Right.
we win together, because it's lonely at the top. And if you don't have people that are that congratulate you, that encourage you, that love on you, um it's I don't want to say it's sad, but it's lonely. It sometimes that can be discouraging, but you need those people that you can plug into and
And,
fill your pot.
and then sometimes when people are not, um, in your space like that, sometimes it's just fuel to keep going. Right. I show you better than I can tell you. Some people use that as motivation, right? So,
Yeah,
it depends
yeah,
on how you're doing. Tiffany, uh, you can look in our Slack group. I'll go through that in a minute. But as far as the free training, we post that stuff all the time. I mean, we posted so much that sometimes I don't even post stuff.
Right. And then all of the majors have free training. Google has free training. Amazon has free training. DigitalOcean has free training. Like
And we got it
VMware
all.
has free training.
Yeah, we
Like all
gotta
these places,
host it in Slack.
IBM has free training. Everybody has free training. You just have to say, okay, gather a couple of things for you to explore, because these companies want you to use their technology, and so they provided these trainings for you so that you can know how to use it.
Well,
And
the
like I said, it
pro
doesn't take months and months and months. You can just go do it. Go, read through some stuff. Look at a couple of videos and see what you if you enjoy it, or if you don't, why?
well, the problem is the fact that there's not enough. We don't have enough tech people to fill the jobs. We I highlighted the boomers' wealth for a reason because they own 52.2% of the wealth. They're retiring. So who's going to take over their jobs, right? Who's going to take over um maintaining what they have accumulated? Whether it be real estate, whether it be a car dealership, whether it be a cleaners or whatever the case may be, who's going to take over? Who's going to help maintain that? Who's going to automate the processes? Who's going to keep it in the family so you can continue to have that coming in? What does that look like? That's why I highlighted that. It was a reason why that because they're moving out of the jobs. They are the largest population, um, and they're the largest population to retire. After that is Gen X and Millennials. I think Gen X, Millennials, and probably another generation make up Boomers. I think it takes three generations to make up the actual number of boomers it is. That just lets you know with a couple of things. People was getting busy. uh, Let me see number of boomers compared to
And then they got the boomers split up in sections. They have the boomer ones and the boomer twos.
yeah, late boomers, early boomers. Let's see. Okay, millennials outnumber boomers in 2019, but hold on, let me give you the numbers. Millennials overtake boomers, and this was in 2019. Millennials who define boomers 23 to 38 numbered 72.1 million um 72.1 million millennials, and now 71.6, and this was April of 2020, so we're talking about pandemic, right? So that number probably changed, who knows,
I mean, shoot.
after this year.
My
So
grandmother had 7 kids.
right, so that's where they're at. Let me see. um see I'm looking, inactive. Okay, cool. Well, okay. All right. So, D, if you could show this on the screen. Oh, is my screen being shared? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let me just pull this up real quick. So, I used to have a thing with them. All right, the greatest generation. This is born before 1928. Um, so this right here is 1.33, and these are in the millions. The silent generation. My grandmother was here. She was born 1905 or 1911. We're not sure because her records were burned. The silent generation, 1928 to 1945. Boomers, 64 to 46 to 64, 76.8. Gen X. So they had less kids here. Boomers was getting busy because some of these millennials fall under boomers, and they fall under Gen X. and then you got Gen Z, 67, right? So we're squeezed in between these two, right? So when we look at this, right, they're leaving, they're retiring. They're like, we did what we came to do. We showed out.
Like my mom says, I'm hobbying. So I'm a
Yeah,
professional student.
they showed out, and then and this how I want you to see tech, right? This is how I want you to understand tech, right? This because this part is important. So just because you got to put it in perspective, right? 1965, take 1965 to 1996. Amazon and YouTube didn't come out to 2005. So most definitely they don't know nothing about what we talking about when we start talking, tech or whatnot. So first, AWS bucket. Make sure I get my numbers right, my years right. Um, so let me go to Wikipedia because I think it's on here. I think it was 2005. Yeah, 2006. Right. Um, excuse me. Amazon launched um its first S3 bucket. We're not talking all of the services in AWS. We're just talking the first S3 bucket in 2006. So if we go back and we look at this chart, and then Gen Z was being created. So Gen Z naturally, more than likely, grew up off of having tech. Gen X and millennials learned it, right? So we're talking about it came. We did this creation for you to have this here. What are you? You're gonna be Gen Z. You're gonna be creating stuff which we see now that are gonna be used for maybe a couple of generations, maybe one or two generations, right? I don't know what the tech is. So now let's look at um, YouTube. YouTube is an American online video sharing and social media platform owned by Google. It was first launched in 2005. 2005. So doing this, right? So, these folks right here were high school adults, the later generation, the millennials, saw some of the same similar things but different. And it's funny, I don't know why they just didn't separate these into two, but I guess this era was so big, right? I wonder if they're gonna separate millennials into two as well too, right? So I just want to put tech in a perspective for you because I think sometimes you all get lost with looking at how what tech looks like, the landscape of tech. So
Yeah. I think
um
people think it is like, and technology has been around for a long time, but I think when it comes to the accessibility, people still haven't put it in perspective of how accessible it is in regards to what they can learn.
um let me see. So Amazon in 15 years has became $1 trillion, or working towards. Are they the first? No, they're working towards being a trillion. They may be, yeah, and then Apple is $1 trillion company, right? But you gotta look at how much money Amazon is worth. So Amazon net worth is the company is now roughly, and this is as of October the 12th, it's roughly, yeah, 1.65 trillion, right? From
Bezos, he didn't glowed up, didn't he?
from from 2005 2006 area right here, right? So we're in 2022, right? So you could do the math. It's a lot of money.
It's a
Same
whole lot of money.
Apple, um, net worth, I think it's, yeah, 2.8 trillion, right? And oh, right here, yeah, work through journey. Yeah. So when we look at these companies and what and how technology is moving, the technology we're using today is already old. That's what it is. Web 3 and blockchain. Well, blockchain came out in '91, like I said, along with Linux. So where we at in tech with the rapid movement, is absolutely amazing. Uh, those boomers that knew COBOL and Fortran are retiring. Pearl, whatever the case may be, understanding how to convert old applications into new. That's where these companies that you see, like the Apples, the Red Hats, more so on the Red Hats, the IBMs, um, any of the companies that doing a cloud migration, with with these different skill sets. That's where you're starting to see it at, right? So let me get to the comments. Make sure I got everybody. What's going on, everybody? Sasha, good afternoon. Afri P, Linda, Kelvin, Colton, Evelyn, how you doing? Tiffany, do you know of any free training? I saw, yeah. We answered that one. Again, join the Slack. I'll do the intro here in a minute. Um, that's right. Check and search. Latrell, welcome back. No birth control. Then yep. All right, so let's get cracking. All right, if you don't know who we are, we're Women in Linux. You can find us all throughout social media, Women in Linux at Women in Linux. You can also find us at womeninlinux.org. You can connect with us on our Slack channel, putting your email address here. Join the Slack. I can say join the Patreon, but we haven't finished it out yet. Oh, what's going on, Joan? And get in, get some knowledge, right? Get in the game, get in the community. As Kelvin, I saw you say it's very, very lonely, but you got a community now, so it shouldn't be too lonely, because we talk about getting to it, building your net worth, and what does that look like? Um, uh, I don't know about Tam being the oracle and D being the no nonsense. I slept you in church on the first Sunday.
I swear. I don't know where you get this from.
Break yourself, fool. All right,
I
so
swear. This is terrible.
keep your hands and eyes on the keyboard. CD, back. How to change directory. Make dir. DF.
But you know what? It is not the first time somebody has misjudged me. So it's okay.
Get in the
It's okay.
game. EA Sports. It's in the game, right? It's the serious. Look, I tell her she be serious. She be stealth.
That's just my
But
face.
you know
I
what?
get that face from my mother.
You know what's hard about it though is this joker can't play space. She be reneging. She be like, well, what we doing again? Do not have her as your space partner. You will not.
It's just
She
a
do.
game.
See, it's just a game, and people don't play spades for it's just a game. We in it.
It's just a game. Yeah,
No,
it get too serious for me, and I got a what's that ADHD? Like, how long we gonna play this?
see, that's what I'm saying. You can't play.
Like,
Not
give me some Monopoly or something. Give me something with a board. Like,
not not taking her to the spades tournament. It's not possible. So anybody that want to play some spades, let me know. We could probably like do some online spades game or something like that. Put some money on the pot. I'm with it. D's just don't moderate. She gonna look and make sure that people ain't cheating or something like that. But other than that, I was heartbroken. Anyway, so again, if you want to find us on social media, find us at Women in Linux across all social media. If you would like to donate with us, you can donate with your time. Again, more than welcome to come on the platform, share your journey, share your experience, things that you've learned along the way. Again, we don't want to be just talking about it from my view. We want to talk about it from your view, how you see things, whatever the case may be, blah, 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 blah. And last but not least, if you click on the donate, boom, takes you here. Charity, we are a nonprofit, boom. There's our EIN number. We're still active. We're just, but similar to the NFL, how they used to be. They were a foundation. We are a nonprofit. Still, one's a C3, one's a C6. Um, we'll get into that one of these days, right? All right. First things first, I want to open up with this, make it light and bubbly. Did you laugh when I sent you this?
I did because I have a friend whose dog does the same thing, and it's hilarious because the dogs kind of look alike, and the dog be in it. Like, this is my jam. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay. So but I know it's your song. I know. I'll think of you every step of the way. I felt like laughing last night. I showed it to my mom. Felt like laughing. The fact that he warmed up to get his mouth ready and stuff like that, and
But
he
clear his dog throat.
to kill his dog, clear his dog throat.
Yeah, this was the clearest little dog throat. He looked at her like,
Did you play my song?
is that my jam?
you,
What?
you love me? You
The
love
dog cleared his little dog throat and was like, get into this, Whitney. Auntie Nippy, she transcends all life forms.
me? Yeah, that's what somebody said in the comments. At least he knows, right? Like the look is priceless. It's almost made me tear up. I don't know why the dog looked like I told you to turn the heater, and you turned on this. Hold my bone. I thought it was funny. Just want to be light-hearted this afternoon. Get your smiles going. Right? All right. It sounded like Bobby Jones and the Bobby Jones Gospel Show.
I haven't seen Bobby. Do Bobby Jones still come on?
I don't know.
I haven't seen the Bobby Jones Gospel Hour in forever.
Bobby Jones.
Where his fly blazers?
Well, and Kelvin talking about he can't play dominoes. You know how to add.
Let me tell you, me and my uncle used to play with my grandmother, and my grandmother get her cocktail ready and sit us at the table, and we were her crew to play dominoes with. She used to talk so bad to us. That's how you learn how to count. My grandmother was no joke when it came to her bones.
All right, so let's get busy. All right. Solana, this is some of the stuff is I had to pull off the other show because I could have kept going. But Solana is blockchain sleeping giant. Here's why its market cap has gone up more than 62,000% in the last year, and experts predict it may be the Bitcoin killer. This is of January the 7th at 2022 at 10:30 a.m. Today's the 8th. Solana is a blockchain platform that has become an overnight success. Lower fees, increased security have made it a favorite among crypto investors. Expert says Experts say it may become one of the top three cryptocurrency platforms. Decentralized finance has become a major movement in the world of cryptocurrency, and we kind of touched on this a little bit on the last show about people buying using crypto to buy to put a down payment on a house and so forth. I think you all saw the investor that came out of New York, where they purchased the multifamily units. We're gonna get into some of that today as well too. Um, just letting you know what's going on my apps. Oh, you're welcome. So let's get back to it. So decentralized finance has become a major movement of cryptocurrencies. It promises radical opportunities for everyday users. Drop in the comments the platform that you're on. All right. I'm gonna skip over the last little part. But last year, another name became a viable competitor for future blockchain and decentralized finance, Solana. While the cryptocurrency started trading in less than $1, it has since increased its value 100 times over the past year. Its market capitalization went from 85.8 million to 53 billion. Right. But Solana isn't simply cryptocurrency. It's decentralized smart contract blockchain designed to be the backbone to an ecosystem more than 400 of which exists according to the project's creator. Solana has started by the computer science graduate, I guess, Anatoly Yakovenov. Yakovenko? Yakovenov sounds pretty good.
Yakovenko.
Yakovenko, yeah, I was gonna screw that up. You got that. In April 2019, Yakko, Yakto.
Yakovenko.
All I think is Yakto project, right? When he published his white paper promoting the idea of blockchain technology, I'm gonna skip over that open source project, blah blah, how Solana works. I won't go into that because we got a lot to cover. But D can drop this link and you can go over and you can check out his white paper. Let me go back to where his white paper was at because it's more important that you read his white paper than anything. So here is his white paper, and I'll drop that in here so you can check it. E Trade. I saw you on E Trade. Anybody on SoFi? Anybody over here on SoFi using SoFi to as their platform? Personal loans, student refinancing, home loans. Right? Anybody over here using SoFi? Um, I signed up for an account actually. Right? 2.5 million members, 59 billion funded. Um, ready to join SoFi, what they do. And I go
What
look
made
up.
you sign up for an account?
I wanted to play with the different investment opportunities that they have in terms
Hmm.
of. I was looking at where is it at? Investing. Can I
Because
get?
SoFi's been out for a while.
Mm-hmm. I
And I
think.
remember when it first came out, it was more towards like student loans and personal loans.
Mm-hmm. There's crypto as well. So that's what I want. So, the different just the different cryptos to invest in, and then two, I'm looking for um making money here and possibly like buying some, not necessarily just property, but just having another vehicle for investment for myself.
Okay.
Here's SoFi ETFs. I have not followed their ETFs, but again, weekly dividend on here. And let me see if I don't know. Let me look. I'm just gonna type this in and see what we get. Okay, yeah. All right, here we go. So here's that was the one day we shot up from here all the way to here, right? So let's go over a month, 6 months. So we got some ups and downs, right? But then we see this big jump here, right?
But this is another one that is in that article. Is do they mention anything about millennials? Because I know a lot of millennials were using this SoFi platform.
That article didn't mention about what platforms they were in. You must be talking about an older article, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard about SoFi in so long. Yeah, fortunately, I don't have any student loans.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm not trying to. Yeah, I don't have no student loans either.
And if I did, I think I would rather leave them with Uncle Sam and play that game than try to put them with somebody else, and then you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't have no student loans. I'm student loan free. I don't know what's in their holdings here. Oh, come on. See, don't say what's in this, right? I guess 93% bonds. Here we go. First American. They have some T-Mobile in here or whatnot. But that's how go look and see what these holdings are, right? Before you invest into them. See what they're doing. See how long they've been around. What they got going on. Um, and go from there. Uh, let's close that one. All right. What was I at? I got okay. Yeah, the white paper. I dropped the link already.
You did.
All right. See, no so far stay trying to buy my loans until the world stabilizes. I'll watch them from afar. Yep. Fun ride. So far making a run. Yep. Big fats like Uncle Sam holding them. Yep. Yep. Again, I'm just looking. I ain't putting no money in there. It's just there. All right. So this is a SPAC I didn't get a chance to talk about earlier. Carousel said in a 1.5 billion SPAC deal in talks with Al Caterton or Caterton. Carousel said, "Yep, Caterton." So this is out of Singapore. Online classified marketplace operator is in talks to go public through a merger with a blank check company, El Caterton Asia Acquisition Corporation, according to people familiar with the matter. The transaction could, and I know that looks small. The transaction could value the company entity at 1.5 billion. The people said asking not to be identified because the information is private. The U.S. SPAC is backed by El Calderon, the 30 billion buyout firm, minority owned by Paris-based luxury goods company LVMH, Moet, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, and Bernard, I guess Arnault investment firm.
Or not? Mm-hmm.
So that's why I mentioned this, right? Um, if you don't know that LVM is publicly traded and actually doing quite well from the last time I looked, let's go to Yahoo Finance, of
Let's
course,
see, because they getting robbed blind on the
and
streets.
let's go here. Last time I looked them, they were up. So let's go and look and see over 6 months, over year to date. We got to drop down probably.
I mean, that's a big brand though. You got
Yep,
they holding a lot of stuff over there.
yep. So again, still at $715 for one share. That's a lot.
I know somebody need to give me some of those.
So
That's how
remember,
you know when you start getting old. Like, say it in stocks.
but remember, I was talking about last night. Renner Center, you could get a Michael Kors handbag. So it's instead of your person buying you the Michael Kors handbag, had them buy you a couple of shares of stock, right? But this is why I mentioned this particular SPAC, right? To see where that backing comes from. But now Whenever we do our things, you know how we do our investigation, right? I try to investigate the people, and I also try to investigate where they're putting their money at, and I then try to look across the tech stack to see where they're investing at, um, to see where they're going to put their dollars at, right? Yep, LVM. You think logical volume manager, right? But nope.
But and Bernard is single.
Let's see. The SPAC plans to carry out its due diligence on Carousel over the coming weeks in the goal of reaching the merger
Oh, he got away.
agreement as this quarter. Early as this quarter, the people said the deal may include private investment in public equity or PIPE, worth a few hundred million. The people said considering considerations are ongoing, and there's no certainty that the talks will result in the deal. The people said adding details such as timing and valuation could change. Let's see. The SPAC raised $250 million last year to target a combination with companies in high growth consumer technology sectors across Asia. It sponsored Al Catherine's Asia's $1.5 billion third fund. Right. So again, those markets also affect us, right? The company has been exploring the U.S. listing via a SPAC deal. Bloomberg reported in June, joining a growing list of companies across Southeast Asia that are going public in the U.S. Right. So be on the lookout. Watch this. Put LBM on your watch list and just watch them. Set yourself on alerts on E-Trade, Schwab, Fidelity to send you emails. I get emails every day on Newsy, ASML, and whatever else I want to have. And then I also get alerts on options. Like on Charles Schwab, they're like, oh, this would be a good option play for today, or this would be a good option play for the week or a leap or what have you. So set yourself up alerts. Learn how leaps work. I talked about leaps last week. I didn't do a deep dive. I need to do a deep dive on those leaps. I Because I need to set my stuff up because I think I'm gonna do something. I want to do Walmart, but they're gonna have to be covered. And Walmart was trading at 300, so you got to multiply 300 times 100, and that's kind of like where you're at if you want to be covered. You can do a naked call, but then somebody might come back in and bite you. So you can always go lower on that, right? So, or you can sell if you have 100 shares, you could sell them, not sell your stocks, but sell your calls, right? All right, so let's close that because we want to make sure we stay up where we're at. All right, electric vehicle reset as auto giants General Motors and Ford and Volkswagen charge in. We talked about General Motors, we talked about Ford, but we didn't talk about Volkswagen. Right? I left that one off the list. So let's go down here and find out about Volkswagen. Where is Volkswagen at? Right here. Some analysts are suggesting the big electrification pushes from legacy automakers like Ford, General Motors, and Volkswagen are factoring in as well as the competition. If you do not know what Volkswagen has done, so we go Volkswagen electric um, vehicles. Right? So here's the look at let's go images. A look at Volkswagen's electric vehicles. This is what they're pushing out. There's their electric van. Remember the little van, the Scooby Doo van? This is the new Scooby Doo van. Here is the electric vehicle, the more like the station wagon, new station wagon style.
I'll drive it.
I guess you consider this one as a crossover. Um, but here's the
Can you click on the van? The van is nice. Oh,
come on. Let me go back. Someone that don't have no cookies.
you don't want cookies.
Let's see.
I don't think I would want yellow.
There's the van.
I don't know where I'm going in that van. It's cool though. Oh,
You,
I'll go everywhere in the van. I don't have to drive a van.
you like the inside,
I like the inside of that van.
right? So you can expect this to be a taxi. Um, mm, when we start doing taxis, so I would like to go over here and let's go Volkswagen, electric van up there. And then let's do that. And I will take the sound down. We're gonna kind of come through here because he's gonna do. Okay, so that's him driving in it, and he's driving the van there. So you can see the inside here with the screen. You see how much room you have on in the windows and the dash. You got the overhead
And
here.
then the other picture we saw, it didn't even have a steering wheel, right? You could
That
take
is the
that on and
steering
off, I
wheel.
wonder, or push it in,
That
maybe.
is the steering wheel right here. It
In
was
the
like
picture,
just
you
like
didn't.
that,
It didn't see it. Is that like a play and pause?
right? That's gonna take to get some used to right there, because you're used to it being circular. And that's their other little car there.
Is that a golf?
So this is the old school one. Here's the new school one. Kind of similar, right?
Yeah. It looks like a chunky mini.
Right. So that's the back. That's you sitting in the back of it, right? You can see how much room is in. You have. You don't see the armrest though, right? But you do see. You can post up and have your head. Lay down with your head on it or whatnot, right?
I
So
wonder what it looks like kitted out with the racks and stuff at the top.
right, and I'm wondering if this is storage in the front. Maybe it could be some storage in the front. All right, there's the other little concept car. You see how much overhead they have here, getting in, so forth, right? Little
So
scoot
what is
around.
that supposed to be, like the golf?
I don't know. Is that it's not the new Beetle, right? Because they do make the Beetle, um,
No, that's not the bug.
right? So those are just concepts. Again, when we're talking about the EV space, again, I talked about it, charging, who installing charging in people's homes, like creating companies that come out and do those installations. We got to get Rochelle onto the show, because we were talking and she was on Erica's show, but me and her were brainstorming what this looks like, and as far as the EV space and handymans, right? So we were talking about, when say something happens to the actual device, it again, this is where tech is in all things. The handyman is now the actual techie or technician that's coming out to your home to make sure that your device is actually getting it the proper needs to charge. Are the leads okay? What does that look like in that space? And we were talking about um um how to make $100,000 a month, as a hardware, as you do hardware appliance, or um I don't want to call it a handyman, because I want to call it like it's almost like a tech handyman, because now the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator all can send you text messages.
Is it a tech? I mean, tech technician. like they're a
right?
technician
Right.
position.
Yeah, and underneath all of that is Linux, right? In these EV cars, if you think IoT devices, edge computing, and Linux, and we're going to get into all that a little later on, are not a part of this journey of these EV cars, you're crazy. You have not, you haven't been to none of our shows then. Yeah, you haven't been to none of our shows. Um, have we all thought about adding technology reviews to this channel? Uh, I thought about it, but the technology that I would want to review, people probably would not be interested in. Like, I would want to review like the System 76 desktop or and laptop. I would want to review things that are Linux centric, and what how I can use, let me put it like this way. How can I use my cell phone to control and deploy my cluster, or how can I use my cell phone or my tablet to um control um the devices in my house and so forth, like like I would want to look at technology from that way. That's just one perspective. Another perspective would be, and we already see this, every all your newer cars have, you can download an app, and it could tell you can remote lock your car door. You can check to see where the car has been driven to. You can, but that's, to me, that's a lot of work per application. Like, to have, like, say, let me give you an example. Say I have a Cadillac, I own a Volkswagen, and I own uh, a Tesla. I don't want to install all three applications in order to manage my cars. I want one application and register the car with that one application, and then control all of my cars from that perspective, as far as how much gas is in the tank and so forth, right? And then as far as, controlling that car, have that, you know synced up, uh pulling being able to pull data down, do and then do, like, this is just me, especially with people who travel back and forth or whatnot. I want to do an analysis, and this is where it will really help in the trucking industry and in, like, the Ubers and the Lyfts and the Instacarts, right? Where then you could pull down an applicate, you could pull down the data to say, well, on Sunday at this time, during these months, you spend this much gas, you need this much power, you need X, Y, and Z, and give me an analysis to me as the, not the consumer, but the freelancer, or the driver, to say, this is going to be, I'm going to need this car, I'm going to need this type of plug, I'm going to need, and I'm going to have my route set up to work during these times, and so forth, like the best optimization for me. All right, but it's just having one app to do all those things, to register and do everything that I would need it for it to do. Right. I don't want to have three apps because I got three different cars, and now I got to open up the Tesla app, or I got to open up the Cadillac app, or no, I just got to open up the app. And this is a market for this. And this is a good idea, because now if I open up that app, you know what I can do in that one app? I can now sell stuff like coupons, or like discounts on gas, discounts on cards, I can now do marketing in that app to people and to the brands as well too, right? So those are my thoughts. How that can work and what does that look like. It is a technique. So if anybody want to collab with me on creating that, that'd be great. Because as these as we start controlling cars more and more and more, it's almost like how you create an ecosystem with Apple or Samsung or whatnot, right? But if I got if I'm in a household and we got 4 or 5 different cars, that means we got possibly 4 or 5 different apps, and I don't want to have 4 or 5 different. I just want one app to do everything I need to do from that one app. Oh, they got a discount on this. We got this right here is my best time for me to order my stuff from Uber Eats and Instacart because it's not a lot of people out there, and here are the restaurants that I could do that from. Get me that and send it, right? Just thoughts. Yep.
So I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. So are all these apps going to be on your cell phone?
What I'm saying is when you got a Cadillac and you have
I
like
got what you're saying, but I'm just saying, is the app on your cell phone?
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna need this app to be somewhere else as well too, because you lose cell phones.
No, I don't.
You be like, you can't even go nowhere because you can't find your phone.
But it's no, it's not that. It's not to drive the car. It's to get information from the car, and and I guess you could probably partner with Waze on this because that probably would make more sense. Um, but it's just an it's just a way to minimize me having to install my app for my electric vehicle that's a Volkswagen and then one for Tesla and whatnot. And I just got one app where I could do everything in. I have
Yeah, a master app like
yeah,
247.
and then if I have a relationship with say Shell or whatnot, I can offer in my app discounts for going in like Wawa. You go in Wawa, it's a full blown restaurant, right? And where you get all these things where I could offer coupons and Wawa. Oh, get your fill up and get a free slushy. Do a fill up and get a free car wash. Do a fill up and whatever the case may be. Come get a sandwich or whatnot. Even the 7-Elevens are not the same anymore. They're full blown service 7-Elevens now, where you can go in and sit down and eat and whatnot. So the way people get off the highway is going to change. The way I get off the highway, I have it takes me 30 minutes to charge. What am I going to do at a gas station that ain't got nothing, right? So the way people travel and the way they interact in that travel is going to change. So the idea of what a fill up station or a gas station or how apps interact with people has to change. So it can't be all these apps. It needs to be an app that has a relationship with the gas station. Like I always wanted to do this. You know how I am when we travel on the road, and it hasn't been done. Where are all the gas stations that have a clean bathroom when you're driving on the road? Right? I just want people to report all the clean gas stations. Right? Go here off the when you get off the highway about 1 mile down is a clean gas station.
And great snacks. But even where the gas stations are, like I know when you're like on the Orlando Turnpike, how they have the gas stations in the middle, kind of like a toll booth,
Hmm.
and you like drive into those and drive out. I like that concept as well. But I get what you're saying. It's more of an interactive experience. There's
Right.
another like place in Orlando, not too far from the airport, but it's a gas station. and it has the, of course, the convenience store. But not only that do they have a convenience store, you know how sometimes they have like a Subway and a Popeyes and a Taco Bell inside the convenience station.
Mm,
Well, this place had a whole exterior, like a food court attached to it, where
mm,
you can sit there and wait for somebody at the airport without feeling like you're sitting in the convenience store,
mm,
which was pretty cool. And then they had, an outdoor area with outdoor patio seating and things of that nature, so it made it like you were kind of like at a park, one of those, a park type of situation, or what is that, those visitor stations when you're riding down the
mm,
highway, something more like that than just I'm stopping at the gas station to go to the bathroom and getting a snack
mm.
and keeping on my way.
DB Darrell, you saying that Apple kind of yeah, see that's, but again, that's Apple CarPlay, but and it, yeah, it works everywhere. I mean, Bluetooth works everywhere, right? But I'm more or less like, I'm gonna give you an example. When I had my Jag, right? When I had my Jag, I could unlock my car door remotely. I could start it up remotely. Um I could uh tell you how much gas I have in the car. I can tell you if my Wi-Fi is on in the car, and I can also tell you, also give me metrics of the tire pressure in the car and all that. Now, you go buy a Mercedes. I need to install another app. I don't want to do that. I just want to I just want to be like, go to the app. I have a Mercedes. Pick the car you got. Boom, boom, boom. Register with the app. Maybe you have to put in a VIN number or something like that, and boom, voila. Everything about the app and the car is all synced up in one location. And for security measures, we could take it even one step further and say, if I have a child, or if my child gets a new car, I can monitor how much gas is in the car, the tire pressure and stuff like that, from my one app, right? And not to say you can't install that app on multiple phones or whatnot.
Right, but it's one app, because I mean a lot of companies, they got on the app bandwagon, like an app is convenient. Like an app
Mm-hmm.
to me is not convenient. I
Mm-hmm.
don't use many apps. I mean, I do some social apps, but to me, it's a hassle if you have to go into all these apps to monitor. You got an app for this, and you got an app for your Fitbit, and you got an app for your phone. I have my toothbrush even has an app. Like, I'm not about to be monitoring all those apps. Like, I need Scott to come and just build me a dashboard for all of these apps to tell me what's going
But
on.
again, you could have that dashboard, right? You could have that app and create a dashboard where you log in and say, okay, well, here's what's going on. Here's everything we need to know about all the cards, or all our IoT devices that are in the house and what they're doing and so forth.
Right.
Oop, we had a spike or a surge or something like that. We could do that, right?
Right, because it's like you buy this $150 toothbrush and you're really not using it to its full capacity because all of the cool features are on the app that I don't want to download and look at all the
That's
time.
because that's because you don't like downloading no app to your phone.
I'm the
For
disconnector of the apps.
Yeah, you're horrible.
And then your phone don't have no memory and you can't do nothing with it.
That's why you gotta be a bigger phone.
Hmm?
That's why you gotta get a bigger phone.
I need to get a what?
Bigger phone, more memory in your phone.
I don't need no more memory on my phone.
Yes, you do. All right, let's go. All right, Unity, and Hyundai Motor are partnering to build a meta factory. They would partner jointly to design a new metaverse roadmap and platform for the Meta Factory, a metaverse based digital twin factory. The partnership pertains to small manufacturing, AI training and study, as well as autonomous driving simulation. The Meta Factory will allow Hyundai to test run a factory virtually to calculate the optimized plant operation and enable plant managers to solve problems um, without having to physically visit the plant. Hyundai Hyundai plans to first apply the Meta Factory concept to the Hyundai Motor Global Innovations Center in Singapore.
That
So
should be interesting.
so let's yep, Meta Factory. So now let's go and look at the Global Innovation Center in Singapore. Let's go take a look at that. All right. So let me see if they got some images. I prefer images. All right. So what it looks like. Human Centered Mobility Vision Innovation Center. This is of 2020. Hyundai Group will establish a Hyundai Mobility Global Innovation Center in Singapore to accelerate its innovation efforts for human centered mobility ecosystem. Here is a trailer of the video. Let me blow that up some. Up. Where my mouse go? Hold on. And we'll start over here. And then make sure my sound up. Let's go.
Do you need a ride home later?
Thanks, but I'll be fine taking the taxi. Oh, here she comes. Wow, so beautiful. Oh no, not again. I'm so sorry.
Dad, don't worry. I'm okay. Let's try again.
Next task requires extra attention.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Hey Frank, I've already sent the vehicle to your house. It will be there soon.
Oh, well, I think it's here now.
Okay, mate. Bye-bye.
This is for you. Where can I take you?
Go to Chimes, please.
Destination set to Chimes. Travel time is 23 minutes.
That was a short film. I want to see the next episode.
Yeah. So tell me what y'all think, right? Tell me what you're
Like
thinking.
all
Tell
of
me what you're
that in the
thinking.
little trolley.
You got in again. Did you notice? Well, here's the one thing I noticed that stuck out to me. The men were walking around with flat shoes and the women had on heels, but that's beside the point.
Oh my gosh, it was so futuristic. Like, here you are.
Right.
Thank
But
you, robot. Thank
yeah,
you, robot.
but I wanted to show, like, if you were looking at the titles that were coming off of the screen, like the exoskeleton. We've talked about the exoskeleton before, when it comes down to moving boxes and so forth, right? We also talked about you saw the actual how the actual not device, but the, I guess, the automobile or trolley or whatever was laid out. The new technology, the space. I don't know if you noticed the capacity that it had listed on the side. uh and if you notice, there were multiple uh of those devices on the road. So again, the layout, and I talked about this earlier, the layout of the land. Remember before we talked about how um the new construction of the streets are going to have to accommodate some of this, and also the actual it's I don't want to call it lidar, but it was a company that I had talked about that was going public, that was putting in IoT devices around cities and making cities smart cities along with the roads, right? So go and look at the city's 10-year plan and look at the infrastructure plan, especially look at the Biden plan and those particular cities that got a lot of money to increase their infrastructure. That's where you're probably going to see the new wave of how roads are going to be laid out, especially when we start talking about autonomous cars and electric vehicles, right? So again, I'm just showing you stuff and then trying to connect the dots of where you could be at in tech and what tech is going to look like years from now. This is probably already happening. I would not be surprised if this is not already happening in Singapore. Singapore again. If you not really familiar with E27, I follow E27 .co is the website where you can go and find out what they're doing in Asia and in Thailand and Singapore, and who out of the U.S. actually backs these companies. I have a list that comes to me every single day about these backings. I just have not talked about it because I don't know if we're ready to invest into these markets or whatnot. But here you go right here. Startups out of India, Singapore, Australia, Hong Kong, right? So you can go here and just do all the Singapore stuff, and it'll pull you the listing of what they have here. I'm not logged in, so I don't get everything right here. But they also talk about the investors, who are the investors into these spaces, and the different events that actually are going on. You best believe the crypto in Singapore and India, Indonesia, Hong Kong. Look out, be on the lookout for those as well too. So also you can, like I say, you can contribute, be a contributor to the content, right? So when you look at the latest and greatest in news, what they're talking about now, it needs time to refresh. It's still not coming up there. Um, Retailitics Pro articles, and then they have down here for partners, people who have partnered with them. And then if you want to do get a job, work, look at jobs, events, and so forth. If you click on jobs, they're usually around the world from what I've seen. It's 4,000 content engineer, my hacker tech PTE Singapore, rockstar DevOps engineer, whatever that is, digital marketing and so forth. So data engineer. So again, you may want to get your passport and go overseas and just live. But here's a way to find out what startups are doing, where the money is being put into, and so forth. Right. So just a FYI. All right. So did y'all like that? I thought it was pretty cool. All right, let's go backwards. So, how to know if you should file or if you should select to be an escort status as a freelancer to save money on taxes. Uh, you create your LLC. You could be, so I'm going to tell you this is not legal advice. First, this is not financial advice either. I'm going to tell you to start looking and talking to a CPA, right? Get somebody on board, right? And somebody who has your best interests at heart, right? You should interview this person just like they trying to gain your business, right? It is your filings, right? You want somebody to help protect your assets, right? All right, freelancers can save up to thousands of dollars in taxes when they select the S corporation status. CPA Kathy Durst and Riley Adams tell freelancers to make sure the savings outweigh the costs. After incorporation costs, payroll fees, and tax filing expenses, it could still be beneficial. The other thing I want to point out here, I don't think the article goes into it. I don't remember reading it in the article. Is a right here. SEP, self-employed 401 plan. Um, I forget what the cap is on this. Self-employed. Oh, I'm gonna blow that up. Self-employed individuals, owner-only businesses, and partnerships can save more for retirement through a 401k plan designed especially for you. With Fidelity, you can have no account fees and no minimums on it. So now the question becomes is what's the limit here? All right, so contribution amounts is up to from 19.5 from 2020 to 2021. In 2022, I think it's 20,500. Employers may contribute up to 25% and up to a maximum of 57,000 in 2020 and 58,000 in 2021. I'm not sure what it is in 2022. I'll have to look that up. But this right here, there is actual a talk. I sent this to D as well too, where you are with the employer and being self-employed, where you can contribute twice, right? And you were saying that you worked for someone else, you wasn't the employer, and then paid yourself a salary under that.
Right, right, right.
Right. So just a FYI, if you wonder how you can do both, this is just I'm just pointing this out here along with setting up this S class. So let's get into it. If you're a freelancer thinking of electing up an S corporation status to save money and taxes, you're not alone, but you do know that if the tax structure is right for you, and how do you know if the tax structure is right for you, and how much do you have to earn for an S corporation to be worth? The short answer, it depends. Okay, so this is why I say seek a CPA. Talk to an accountant because there are additional costs that go along with running an S corp and as a CPA. Um, uh, According to Bridgewater Accounting, So for first, understand the basic benefits of an S corp. An S corporation, you no longer merely the owner of the business, you're in the employee. That's what I was just referring to. That means your business must pay you a salary, right? That's where the tax benefits come in. Normally, as a business owner, your entire income is subject to self-employment taxes, which is the equivalent of FICA taxes for employees and income taxes. With an S corporation, your entire income is subject to income taxes, but you only pay FICA taxes on your salary, not the leftover profit called the distribution. Jurors offered a simple example. Let's say you're freelance, you're freelance and your business makes 100,000 after expenses. Without the S corporation status, you would pay self-employment taxes on the entire 100,000. But if your business is an S corporation and you take 60,000 as a salary and 40,000 as a distribution, your you would pay FICA taxes on the 60,000 but not the 40,000. Depending on your situation, the taxes can be decent, as much as 1,000, as much as thousands of dollars, right? Second, understand the cost of the S corporation. Running an S corporation isn't cheap. There are several factors to consider when choosing this tax status, which is why freelancers should sit down with their accountant first. Incorporation costs. Your business has your legal hat, and it has your legal, and it has your tax hat. So you need to have certain legal structure in place, such as an LLC, before the S corporation election with the IRS. Sole proprietors should weigh the cost of the incorporation, depending on the state, and the resignation alone. Resignation fee alone can vary from $40 in Kentucky to 500 in Massachusetts. And they go on to talk about this a little bit more, but I'm gonna hop down here. um, Adams avoided the hefty LLC fees by filing as a sole proprietor, which worked well, he said, while he was making 2,000 a month or less from freelance writing. But as his business grew and started to earn 3,000 to 4,000 per month, he realized it was time to take the leap and incorporate. He knew it wouldn't be long before his monthly freelance earnings hit 5,000 to 6,000, but by the point, the benefits would certainly outweigh the costs, right? Payroll fees, I'm gonna go through here real quick. Tax filing expenses. It says it only makes sense to file an S corporation if your work is consistent. Highlight that. If your work is consistent. Now I've been a Michael Kors, that bag keeps showing up.
I was just about to say the same thing. I said, there go that Michael Kors bag.
For
But also
freelancers,
with this LLC, I just want to point out for people that it is most people assume that you only can be an S corp if you're filed an Inc. Incorporation. You can be an LLC and choose to be taxed as an S corp or a C corp. As Tam said, it is, if you seek a CPA, make sure that you are seeking a CPA that is knowledgeable about the type of business that you are doing, because sometimes, the general tax stuff doesn't is not applicable to you. And so, you may get one tax professional that has your stuff as self-employed, or they're not um, reporting your income correctly, because you can be a W-2 employee with a business, and then they're taxing your business as additional W-2 work. So all that stuff, it gets in the weeds. So make sure that you are also looking into CPAs that not only small business, but if it's tech related, if you're doing that type of work, that you are protected, and you're getting it filed correctly. Because at the end of the day, the IRS is not going to come for the CPA, they're going to come for you. And if you've been filing with this particular CPA and trusting their advice, then you want to make sure that they know what they're doing.
oh, and when we was doing that video, talk hell, you asked us does that come with a coin? I didn't see nothing about it come with a coin, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I wasn't ignoring you. I didn't forget about it, and I was like, oh yeah, you asked the question, but like I wanted to make sure I answered it. All right, and it says for freelancers earning consistent and growing income, an S corporation may be a great idea, but the key word is consistent. Many bloggers, Darius works would have a great business year to watch, only to watch their blog traffic and income tank the next year because a search engine changed its algorithm. So make sure your income is regularly growing before deciding to become an S corporation, right? The other interesting factor you may have to weigh in is that Trump introduced the qualified business deduction qubit. What is that? Let's go. According to the IRS. Do, do, do. All right, many sole proprietors, partnerships, S corporations, and some trusts and estates may be eligible for a qualified business income (QBI) deduction, also known as a Section 199A, for tax years beginning after December 31st of 2017. This deduction allows taxpayers to deduct up to 20% of their qualified business income plus 20% of their qualified real estate investment trust REITs, dividends, and qualified publicly traded partnerships (PTP) income. Income earned through a C corporation or by providing services as employees is not eligible for the deduction. For more information on what qualifies, see the publication, the 535. I'm going to drop this in the chat so you all can check that out. So, take this to your CPA. Read it for yourself first. Do your own research, make your own notes, and then take that to the CPA so you
Right.
understand what's going on, what's being said. If it's a word that you don't know, look it up, try to understand it, Google search it, get some books, get some knowledge under your belt
Because
before you go.
CPA language is kind of like lawyer language. Like you think it means one thing and it means something different. So make sure that you do a little research and getting a provider because it's expensive. Like those different types of entities can get expensive, as the article said, based on your location and your designation. So seek some advice in that.
Right? And on this link, it says QBI does not include items such as items that are not properly includable in taxable income, investment items such as capital gains or losses or dividends, interest income not properly allocable to a trade or business, wage income, income that is not effectively connected with the conduct of the business within the United States, commodity transfer of foreign currency gains or losses, certain dividends and payments in lieu of dividends, income loss or deductions from non principal contracts, annuities, amounts received as reasonable compensation amounts received as guaranteed payments, qualified REITs, and PTP income. It says QBI does not include items such as, right? So I wanted to give you that. We went and looked up what the qualified income deduction. Hope that made sense for everybody. You may want to do a little bit more guidance on this. You may get a little bit more guidance on this. And what does it actually mean? How can it benefit you? Does it need to be something you need to explore? Right. All right. So let's go here. This for you, Kelvin. Let me close this out because we covered that. We didn't cover that. We haven't covered that, but we're here. And the next three tabs going to the right. Are you a multi-cloud engineer yet? The case for building skills on more than one cloud. Let me blow this up so you can read it. I'm gonna tell you now. You can put the screen on me now, D. I'm gonna tell you now. Yes, get you a multi. He
Yes,
tell you
yes,
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 yes. You need to know about multiple
yes,
clouds. Get a
yes.
certification in one.
Multi cloud guru, you.
Yes, do that thing.
Yes,
Damn,
Yes.
man. With diggable planets. Yes.
Make it. Do it.
Do
Experiment.
it. Get
Yeah.
you a cert, man.
Yes.
Get in the
Multi-class.
game. Yes. All
Yes.
right. So um yes. We saw that from um the outage with AWS. You've seen this. I've talked about it over and over and over again. Multi-cloud strategy is what it is: hybrid cloud, multi-cloud, on-prem, whatever the case may be. Right. Over the past few months, I've made the choice to move from the AWS ecosystem to Google Cloud. Both great clouds, and I think it's made me a stronger, well more rounded technologist. But I am um just one data point in a big trend. Multi-cloud is inevitably in medium to large companies at this point. And as I and others have been saying for a while, as IT footprints get more complex, you should expect to see a broader range of cloud provider requirements showing up showing up where you work and interview. Ready or not, multi-cloud is happening. All right. I'll make that a little bigger. All right. In fact, HashiCorp recent cloud strategy survey 76 employers were already using multiple clouds in some fashion. This is why I push Terraform, right? With more than 50% flagging lack of skills among their employees as a top challenge to survival in the cloud. Then let me caveat this: if you don't want to learn multi-cloud, you should learn cloud security. You should understand how to secure containers. You should understand how to secure the ecosystem, right? You should understand how to secure the ecosystem, right? I can't roll my
Lock down. Lock it down.
I hold on, let me see how to did I do it? How to I don't know how to do it as close as I can get, but how to secure the ecosystem, right? Um, and I'm talking about the actual instances, the bare metal machines, the application, the data, um, the network.
Yeah. So I hope everybody heard that. If you're not going to pursue multi-cloud uh, skills, learn how to secure the cloud.
Right.
And people might ask, Tam, why secure the cloud? What's the benefits of securing the cloud? Why should I be securing the cloud if I don't want to do a multi-cloud? Well, since you asked,
What's the reason, Dia?
it's the cloud. It's only one cloud. You know how to secure the cloud. You know how to secure multi-clouds.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the reason why. Because I mean, different clouds offer different uh features. When I say that, like when people think Oracle, they think databases. When people think AWS, you may be thinking a multitude of things there. But when you think Azure, you may be thinking Azure DevOps, one stop shopping. You may be thinking when you think of something like GitLab, which plays in the cloud, you could be thinking something else. Either way it go, data is king underneath. People are always going to be out to attack and take away what they can, right? So the security aspect is always going to be there. And again, I talked about this before: red team, blue team, purple team, gray hacker, black hacker, white hacker, pen testing, um, uh, understanding how data flows throughout the network. We talked about this. What does it mean to type in yahoo.google.com? What happens there when I type that in? So those things are what you needed, right? And it says here, with more than 50% flagging lack of skills among their employees as top challenge to survival in the cloud, that spells opportunity for you as an engineer. But with limited time and bandwidth, where do you place your bets and where do you start? You could pick a cloud to get good at and stick with it. That's perfectly a valid career. And if you bet on your career on one cloud, you should totally pick Google Cloud. I have reasons. Just reading the article, right? But in my post, I'm arguing that expanding your scope of professional fluency to at least two or three major US clouds, Google, AWS, Azure, opens up some unique future optimized career options. What do I mean about multi cloud fluency? For the sake of this discussion, I'm defining multi cloud as a level of familiarity with each cloud that would enable you to say pass the flagship, right? So he talks about certification. So how do I get multi-cloud? How does multi-cloud fluency make you a better cloud engineer? I asked the community on Twitter to give me some examples of how knowledge of multi-clouds helped them, and it was a great discussion. We're going to click on that. Turns out that even if you never incorporate services from multi-clouds in the same project, and many people don't, there's still value in understanding how other clouds live, how they work, what are they known for. um I'm I like this framing of, and he said, learning lingua franca of cloud. Said I like this framing of different cloud providers. Let me click on that. um Providers as romance languages. As human languages in the same family tree, clouds share many of the same conceptual building blocks. Adults learn primarily by analogy to things we've already encountered, just as learning a programming language make it easier to learn in more than one cloud, right? I won't keep reading all of it, but becoming a unicorn, I'm gonna drop down here because it's long. How to multi-cloudify your career. We've established some familiar with multiple cloud expands of your career options, but learning one cloud can seem daunting. How do you chart your multi-cloud career, and that doesn't end with you spreading yourself too thin. Get good at core concepts, basics, fundamentals. Can't beat that enough. Basic fundamentals. Make sure to do hands-on labs. Go deep on your primary cloud. Remember that T-shaped I talked about last night? Um, Again, go broad and secondary on your secondary cloud. General, right? See, T-shape. Good God, boy, I tell you. Um, and then down here, bet on cloud native services and multi-cloud tooling, right? Multi-cloud and you. When I moved to Google Cloud after years of being a AWS hero, I made sure to follow a new set of Google Cloud voices like Stephanie Wong and Richard Seroter, but I didn't ghost my AWS friends, my AWS using friends either. I am better technologists and so forth, right? And he goes a little bit into that. D can drop this in there in the email. But here, if you want to know about it, people who are fluent on more than one cloud provider, how has your skill set affected your career? Does it just expand your job opportunities, i.e., can you get hired at GCP shop or AWS shop, or do you find it working with multiple clouds at your current job? And it said it expands my ability, and I'll blow this up. Um, expands my ability to take contracts. Remember, I talked about this. We talked about that freelancer just then, and now we're back over here talking about um, the ability to take contracts, meaning I can get more work because I am moving within this in the space of I don't care what you have, I got you, right? It allows me to focus on providing value for my customers by building whatever combination of cloud service that best fit their needs. Lynn Langett, you need to go look up Lynn Langett. We did a interview with her, podcast with her a couple of years ago. She got in the tech game at 55. So that's why I laugh sometimes when y'all ask me, am I too old to get in? And the question is, when you gonna get in? When are you gonna start? All right. So glad you chimed in on this. You're one of the most well-rounded people. Do you think there's a strong correlation between the value of multi-cloud skill set and being a consultant? What would you lose if you went full-time in-house with one of your clients? Let's go show reply. I say that uh I say that architects and consultants benefit very strongly from a multi-cloud set. Junior to mid-level cloud engineers better off with more of a deep or a depth of single cloud. I have to be knowledgeable on all major clouds as I help startups adopt IBM Cloud. This is what I was talking about with IBM. The work for IBM is not about IBM Cloud. It's about IBM AWS. It's about GCP. It is about on-prem. It is about everything. It is a job that gets you your skills and all in just in everything. There's no way it is lending and pushing you towards that leadership style, that architect style. That's what that gives you, right? Um, and Emily, I worked with AWS, Azure, GCP, and all sorts of hybrids with on premises. I'm happily in a position I can select work by preferred provider GCP. How do you build this skill set? Just happenstance over time, or did you make an elaborate effort to diversify your skills through certifications? Drop down here. Increment on need basis. Cloud platforms support my domain of expertise. Construction industry, I guess designation. Um, broke multiple cloud companies, woke multiple cloud people. Right, and they just went on and into this. It goes on, but I wanted to point this out to you. It's in that article. This conversation is in that article. Another thing that was highlighted in here, it says right here, it says people are people who are fluent in one or more cloud provider. How has this skill set affected your career? Does it mostly just expand your job opportunities? Blah blah blah. It's like it's like how knowing one romance language helps you learn the others. SQS would want us to configure a dead letter Q here. What is that equivalent in PubSub, and how should that be configured? I get that, right? And he said, yes, I think so. GCP projects are kind of like that. Projects in AWS and Azure accounts in the same way, but not others, right? So we talked about this. What does it look like to create a project in GCP, and what does it look like to create a resource group inside of Azure? And I went over that in one of our meetups, right? And again, last night I talked about this T-shapes. I talked about this in the city, the concept of T-shaped skills. T-shapes T-shaped persons is a metaphor used in job recruitment to describe the ability of a person's of persons in the workforce. The vertical bar on the latter T-shape represents the depth or the related skill that the expertise in a single field, whereas the horizontal bar is the ability to collaborate across disciplines with experts in other areas and apply knowledge in those areas of expertise that one knows, right? T-shape. So you may know Linux, cloud, cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, but your I guess the long part of your T, not going across, but the long part of your T may be AI and machine learning. But you know about all these other things, right? So that's where that comes in it. That T shape. All right. So skills gap proves a growing barrier for digital transformation initiatives. Red Hat Global 2022 Tech Outlook report skill set or talent gaps emerged as the top barrier organization believe will prevent them, from achieving the goal. This was also reflected in the organization's non-IT priorities in the next 12 months. Red Hat's Global Outlook report every year from June until August the 21st. We survey approximately 1,300 companies on leaders and decision makers to learn about digital transformation. The Global Outlook findings, the survey contained a number of questions that were directly or peripherally, I think I said that right, related to skills and training. One of these specifically addressed potential barriers to success in the digital transformation efforts, which is skill set and talent gaps. I say it all the time. This is the number one thing. It was 25% the problem in 2020, and it was 26% in 2021. And they have this here. I actually downloaded the report. You can get to this website right here. It's actually inclusive of the report if you wanted to. I'll drop this in the chat. But here is the report here, right? They talk about the digital transformation continue with space companies are significantly less likely to this year to be stalled or have no plans, and more for transforming and accelerating their efforts. And they show it in the graph here. Uh, the blue is 2020 and the red is 2021, right? And then in throughout here there's facts and figures and so forth, but I'm going to go over the top, right? Hybrid cloud strategies continue to dominate. While 18% of the organizations are still establishing a cloud strategy, a hybrid cloud approach is the most common. Let's drop down here to the next one. Security is consistently top of the mindset. Selected by 40% of the respondents, IT security is by far the most common overall funding priority moving in 2022. The increased focus is viable across other funding areas. Number 4, artificial intelligence and machine learning and the Internet of Things continue to dominate emerging technology planning. Automation ticks are up. Like security, investments in automation are being prioritized across many areas going into 2022. Training and skills are a higher priority. Technical or technology skills, training and people and process skills, training each increased 4% from 37% to 37% from 32%. I'm skipping to the headlines. I told you this report is long. All right, that was it. But I'll drop this inside of Slack, right? It says conclusion, watching what's happening in the digital transformation matters because it pervades everything else. Digital transformation is the progressive accumulation of new approaches to people, processes, and technology to create better business outcomes. Closing talent gaps, accelerating application development, and establishing a hybrid cloud platform are part and parcel of the effective global transformation strategy. This survey suggests that IT decision makers are generally focused on the right things. They're prioritizing security, they're prioritizing hybrid cloud infrastructures, they're prioritizing people. And we've seen that with the free information that's been out there. When we're talking about the skills and so forth, right? And then you can start dropping the link in case anyone wants to come up. I'm rounding out the end here. All right, so Invictus and Brevi and I guess Brevo partner to enhance smart building experiences with key free life multifamily residents. Brevo's access control is now integrated with Invictus Suite, a HD video intercom smart system, and interactive concierge. Right, the integration between Brevo and Invictus, which I use, I think you use these on the remote, the Amazon lockers. I think that's what you use this with. I think that's what you use Invictus with. Makes it simpler for community members to enter their apartments, access common spaces, and book amenities without key fobs. Um, all they need is their mobile device. The integration also minimizes property manager workloads by streamlining visitor check-ins, facilitating self-guide tours for prospective renters, and offering an intuitive communication portal for easily managed communication with residents. They are doing away with property when you go look for apartment. They're doing away with those guides, and they're doing away with people coming in to sign a lease and somebody come show you an apartment and somebody to talk to you, right? That job is going away. I can't hear you, D.
The leasing agent job
Yep,
is going away.
yep. We don't need you there anymore.
We don't even really want to talk to you. And when I was calling about places actually this week, it was just like, okay, you can go online and put your deposit on and secure the unit.
Yep.
They don't want to be bothered with you either.
So, with that being said, this is something Erica Williams was talking about, and somebody had dropped down in the comments on one of my and responded to my comment, but they were talking about you need a 3D visual of the apartment. You don't need to do that. You can go and use Matterport. Then they have the 360 cameras. You set it up. Most of the real estate agents are using this now as well too. And they just go around a boom and do a 3D immersive of the apartment. And you just pick the random style of apartments that you have. You put it on your website. Everything is gonna be like the only thing that you're gonna have now. You may or may not have somebody on site to take care of your needs, such as toilet overflowing or whatever the case may be
That's
there.
property maintenance. That's a different.
But I don't even think they're even having them on. They've outsourced that as well too.
Yeah. But and also, you know, living in an apartment is not just like the inside. You want to see if you're sitting on your balcony, what is your view from the outside as well? You want those views about what's going on around you, look
I don't care
up,
about the
look
outside.
around.
I don't care about the outside.
I
You
do.
care. Yeah, you care about
I
that.
mean, because when I first moved here, my apartment it was on the outside of the parking lot, so it was just like I don't want to sit here and look in the parking lot. I'd rather been in the interior and looking at the fake waterfall stream or whatever that was. So,
Yeah, I didn't care.
hmm,
Yeah, I don't care.
you care,
No, I don't.
you care.
Because I'm gonna go somewhere else. Yeah, I don't like sitting outside and getting ate up by mosquitoes.
Who said anything about mosquitoes?
I'm just saying, in Florida, there are mosquitoes, and sitting outside.
There's mosquitoes everywhere.
No, I don't want no mosquitoes. So no, I'm okay with that. 1 second, please. Let D take over.
Her mom came and busted the podcast. Oh, she's about to get on. She's not gonna get on.
Come on, let the people see it.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yes, they do. Just peek your head in.
Woo! Where you going?
I got a hot date.
You got a hot date? Did you
Yeah.
give me shelter? Where's your hot date?
It's better that you don't know.
Tell the people where you're going, Miss Ann. Where are you going?
What about Longhorn to get something to eat?
I love it.
Well,
Well, that's my mom.
you want something bad.
Yeah, just
That's
give
Miss
me.
Ann. She's ready. She's ready for the day. Make sure y'all order me something too. Where we going? So I not to get off track, but you guys are welcome to come in and join the stream and come up on stage. I did drop the link into chat. Let me know if you guys see it. Let's see. You know what, Adele? A lot of people in surrounding areas are still using rental agents. I know in Florida they're using rental agents. I know in New York, where you're at, they have real estate brokers. So the way you guys have to rent units is totally different than everywhere else. I mean, the down payments that you put on a New York apartment is like a down payment on a house. It is definitely different. But I've recently had to call some rental places in the Colorado area, and you know, they were talking about base rent, a base rent cost. They were talking about those add-ons as far as your utilities that you have to pay to your city directly, or the utilities that you need to pay to the apartment complex. Some of these places are a la carte, and it's like by the time they fee you to death, you could probably be living in a house. Just certain conveniences as like having a garage or covered parking. All of these things for units are additional. So apartment living, there's never really been my cup of tea. But it's definitely interesting, and I think there's definitely a market for um what we're talking about as far as not having a leasing agent, and maybe them, I don't, converting into some type of other capacity. Some people want that one-on-one, because they, it's a social job. People want to come in and they want to drop their rent off. They want to be able to talk to somebody and know that they're being heard and all that other good stuff. But I definitely can see a way to automate it, because if you look and you Google some places, the 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 lack of stars or reviews that come in is definitely the quality of the office or the property management team.
Yeah. Well, you guys got a chance to meet my mom. That, I know, right?
She was killing me today.
All right, so let's see. We got that one. We got that one.
What's for lunch?
I just told the girl grab me a salad.
Oh, okay.
All right. So last year was a blockbuster year for VC backed startups. And here are our 9 predictions for 2022. I think this is important to highlight as we look across the landscape. And I should go back to that report. Oh man, I didn't download. I don't think I saved it. But anyway, what was important about that report was the rise of edge computing, IoT devices, AI, machine learning, quantum, and we talked about that. But let's look at the predictions that they have for 2022. VC funding will mostly come back to Earth, as they're saying. A strong IPO cohort. I gotta get Dion's language down. Will face some headwinds. Fintech will continue its record streak. Crypto investment will remain red hot. Cybersecurity eyes an encore. Prop tech is poised to be another big one this year. Prop tech has entered the banner year of 2021. And I'm gonna hop down here. Venture-backed companies in the real estate and property tech space raised nearly $21 billion from Crunchbase data shows, and the sector saw milestones like Procore's IPO. Right? It wasn't all rosy. There was an embarrassing collapse of construction unicorn Katara, which had raised 1.6 billion by SoftBank and other prominent investors. But by and by, the large sector benefited both a pandemic fuel home buying and increasing digitization of office spaces to accommodate new work environment. Our prediction sources say we spoke and with they we spoke with say there that doesn't make sense, but we'll go with it. Sources we spoke with say there will likely be more investment in real estate software surrounding the construction and the property management spaces, two sectors that were standout areas for investment into within the prop tech in 2021. They also expect more consolidation in the industry as companies mature and look for exits. Biotech investment gets a big shot in the arm. The pandemic put a massive spotlight on the biotech sector and drew increased investment to the area. But investors and other experts we spoke with say there's not just a virus they're fighting that's prompting a spike in biotech investment. Other areas from AI breakthroughs to a new candor about mental health also pushed the venture investment. Prediction: expect continued investment in this area in areas ranging from AI applications for biotech. Startups aimed at helping us live longer. That was the big news with Jeff Bezos. A lot of the entrepreneurs I was watching, a lot of the big tech, a lot of the big tech CEOs are interested in reversing backwards, aging backwards. So there's a heavily invest in this. There's a whole YouTube series out here on what they're doing and how they're doing it, for to extend their life, to and also to age backwards as well too. And it isn't all about helping our species live longer or maybe just less miserable live lives anyway. While many startups claim to be working on breakthroughs that will change the course of human history, a small niche cohort of companies are literally working on technology that could potentially radically extend the human lifespan. Prominent companies in the space that raised funding last year include Tempus, an AI enabled precision medicine company, Cambridge, I guess, Genetics, a developer of epigenetic tools and analytics, and Chroma Medicine, which is focused on epigenetic editing. Experts are predicting. Experts say that along with overall biotech investment, startups in the longevity sector will likely see continued investments. This is where their research comes into play. Um, in the research, in not just the research, but it's also the government funding that, right? The spec party is over with nearly 300 spec of these investment vehicles created in first quarter. Blank check acquires offered a faster and less complicated route to public markets and have been particularly attractive to startups. Still, overwhelming majority of the venture-backed companies with the SPACs in 2021 ended the year trading far below former heights, and so forth. Blah blah. Prediction: SPAC bubble has started to deflate by mid 2021. Performance of these stocks as the year wore on doesn't bode well for blank check companies to make a comeback anytime soon. Instead, we will expect to see most startups heading to public markets this year do so via a traditional IPO route. And Hashi went the traditional IPO route, right? Procore. Procore is a software company that provides cloud-based construction management software. This was in the article they were talking about when we're talking about prop tech. You can look up prop tech companies. Essentially, we're just talking about the Invictus and I forget who would they partner with there. Who is that? Who is that? Was it on here? Nope, it wasn't on there. It's on another one. Let's look at prop tech. So here we go. HQO, Equium, best prop tech solutions. Let's look and see what they're talking about for 2022. Let's see. I'm looking for companies. Okay, here we go. Rental step landlords can access online booking system, comprehensive referencing services, and find the best tenants. Rent Moolah offers an interesting twist to help tenants to pay They'll rent on time and be rewarded for paying, tying in back to the concept for one app for your phone for your cars. They pay rent any number of ways: credit, debit, or cash. The tenants earn points, which can be used to buy travel, shopping, and home services. Amenify offers the types of services renters are missing. Amenify creates amenity programs with mobile first technology, which matches the tenant to apartment cleaners, dog walkers, yoga and exercise classes, ride share services, and more. Zillow is in the prop tech space. Zoomper, a Zumper offers a real-time home and apartment rental platform for tenants and landlords. They're financed at 37 million. Uses data feeds and partnerships with the landlords and brokers and property managers. Homelight, I guess, Real Ally, Open Agent, Rentaberry, Criteria Crop, Managed Casa, or are all the name, right? And that's what they're predicting for 2022. I'll drop this in the comments in case you're interested in that. You got to think about how you can have your Airbnb and automate your stuff, and how would that look to have to offer other things to your Airbnb guests as well too. Is how I looked at that. And last but not least, 2020 summary, extraordinary dividend bets, right? This is by this guy Chris Demuth. This was in 2021 December on the 28th. There's a difference in investing and collecting. Um, uh, the two latest and two extraordinary dividend bets, and certain personnel virtues or investing advices. So loyalty, collecting, for extraordinary dividend players. My current best idea is Quad S has its share price go up for about 3%. Spy, and you can mark these on your watch list. Spy, so far my largest investment has been Bencorp, BNNCORP. Look like there may be still a penny stock at BNCC has paid out $14 in dividends. It's on track to pay out at least $5 additional dividends next year. It's utterly mispriced, or worth over $50 today as a standalone company, and far more to a strategic buyer in the future, right? And then he got Magna Chip, which is MX. All right, so it is worth somewhere in between the 20s to 30s per share in a Korean or an American strategic buyer, and is likely to sell sometime within the next 36 months. Meanwhile, they will probably pay a special dividend of $8 per share. So this other one was $14 per share. This one is $8 per share. Right? AMBC costs around $15 and is worth at least 20. They should distribute to shareholders at least its current share price and dividends next year. This might take a bit of a prompting from a third point of Elliott. It will, if they get the 10-figure settlement from Bank of America in the third quarter, they should return to its owners. The last thing the company should do is walk around with over $1 billion burning a hole in their pockets, looking for something to blow it on, right? So these are the ones that came back with. He's got here SS later this month, and around $5 getting paid out for BNCC later, and 75-cent dividend for Quad S. MC and AMBC are big 2022 opportunities for $8 or so, an MX dividend, and a $15 or more AMBC dividend. And that's on a per share basis there, right? I usually see around 30 cent, 60 cent or something like that, but $18, 15, I mean $15 a share, that's pretty huge, right? That's all I had, D. I can't hear you.
Did you get everything out?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get everything out?
Yep. For both shows.
I know it was some spillover. I
Yeah.
just wanted to run the ticker across the screen. Like I had to stop myself. Like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
wrong show.
Yep.
Oh, so I dropped the link for anybody that wants to come up and chat. I think
And you can come.
everybody's doing something else. Trey
Yeah.
Clay, she's laying wallpaper. And so I'm glad that you guys even just listen to us while you're doing your Saturday stuff. We appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Let's
And,
see.
and you're more than welcome to come up to tell me where you disagree with something or it doesn't make sense or where you see tech is going and I have not mentioned it or have you considered X, Y, and Z. Um, just putting it out there.
And Trey Clay, we're gonna let you try those nootropics first and let us know how they are working for you. And then, I'll go see about them. Because I'm about health and wealth though, you know. I want to live a long, healthy life. I want to be in my right mind. I want to be able to, get up and get somewhere. I have a great aunt. She's 90 years old and she's still moving. Not really fast, but she's still sharp.
Mm. Let's play this game, D. You already know the answer. How old do y'all think my mom is?
Oh, I know.
Hmm.
She's 45.
How old y'all think my mom is? Take a guess. You can go based on looks. I won't be insulted. And of course, nope. Everybody's like, I don't know if I want to play that game.
I
Ooh.
know, but Code Evelyn is close.
Darren French, you're right. 74. Let me double check that though. Hold on. Let me double check my math.
Do you gotta do the math?
Yeah, I do. Hmm. I do. She'll be 74 this year. She's 73.
I don't know. My mother started aging backwards. I was like, look, hot girl, I'm gonna need you to slow it down. I'm gonna need you to slow it down. Like, my
Hey,
mother is a hot mess.
I tell her she could be hotter. She don't want to be.
Who, your mom?
Mm-hmm.
She's a sophisticated lady. My mama, she went from sophisticated lady to, I don't know, once she became a AARP member, she was just
Hmm.
like with it.
Yeah, she do look. She look young. We don't really age in our family for looks wise. Like looking at my aunt and them that we just that's never been a thing. My grandmother looked young when she was 60, so it's one of those things.
I have a family friend that asked about our family. He was like, "Are you guys vampires? Like, what are you? What do y'all be drinking over there?" I have no idea what you're talking
Try to stay stress and sucker free.
about. I moved. I moved. He's like, "I got 10 grandkids," and I was like, "I don't have a child." Like 10. Good God.
Yeah, no grandkids. Got nieces, nephews, and cousins. Yo, so D, nobody wanted to come up and kick it with us.
Nobody playing with us today.
Nah, it's all good. It's all
It's
good.
cool because I would have got. I got some errands to run. Maybe.
We want to make sure that you all got the information. Shout out to everyone that joined us today on the first show and on this show. I hope you got the gist of where you see tech could possibly be for you. and where you play a role at. I try to make sure it was diverse as possible, from looking at the prop tech to content creation to what they're doing in Singapore. Yep, I am. I am an only child.
Now you know where she get all that energy from.
The great wealth transfer will be televised. I'm just playing. Yeah, I am an only child. On my mom's side, I have sisters on my dad's side. In fact, my sister was in the chat yesterday. I don't know if she watching now or not. She may be still asleep. I was partying with her.
The oldest, the what do you call it? The only and the eldest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would say I'm the only and the eldest, but I have a sister on my dad's side.
Well, you got a sister. You got a sister and a brother.
I got two sisters and a brother.
Yeah.
I said the only and the eldest. It was a point where I was the only and the eldest, but not for long.
You should add crazy too. I said you should add crazy too. Comma.
Come here and say what?
Oldest, eldest, craziest. Yeah.
You are.
2 commas.
You are.
We're talking about you, not me.
You
Don't deflect. You
are.
guys had great information. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. I hope you see good.
We try.
I'm trying to get her there.
Cham, she needs a place to share all of the things she comes across. She's so excited. I wish you could see her preparing for all of the stuff. She was like, oh, gotta get the shows together.
But while I was partying, I was YouTube partying. I got all the shows together last night. I was going through stuff.
I do. We do. We do. We are sisters in tech.
No, I said,
over the years became more like.
I think she was asking, did I get my sister in tech?
You got your sister in tech. No, she's saying you got a sister in tech.
Oh.
I think we became family over the years. I do consider her a sister. She like the annoying older big sister. Then she'd be like, she's like my little sister at times, where you just be like, girl, go sit down. She sent me flowers today. So nice.
I sent my mom some flowers. I don't think they got here.
We're talking about me.
No, I'm just out.
My sister in tech sent me some flowers this morning, and that made me happy. I will share my flowers with you once they bloom. She got me her favorite flower though. So by the time she get back home, baby blue.
What's my favorite flower?
Your favorite flower?
Yeah.
Tulips.
They shouldn't have been tulips.
They are tulips. I got tulips. And by the time you get home, they will have bloomed. So you can share my flowers with me. So we'll see what they look like. I got them in there in the kitchen. It's warm out here today, so
I show you.
I might go drive in Tam's car with the top
down. No, that means you going to Tampa.
Excuse me?
That means you going to Tampa.
Oh, I'm not going to Tampa. I don't want Omicron. Omari. I don't want none of that.
I mean, you going to Tampa. I mean, you
have we ever read Tulip Mania? No. What is Tulip Mania? Let me Google it. But Tam loves tulips, and we went to Amsterdam where they have tulips everywhere. It's their flower. And we bought some bulbs home.
Right here.
And we bought some bulbs home. Needless to say, they've never been planted because it is hot here.
No, we just had the planters.
No, it's too hot for tulips.
No, those work in Florida. The ones I got, they work in Florida.
It's been too hot for tulips.
No, what I'm telling you, the ones that I got, they're by state, so they work just fine. Boom, there you go. That's what they look like.
That's what my flowers will look like when they bloom.
And I got my mom.
Let's see, we got a question. That question is, have you both influenced your family matters to get a job in tech? I believe they tend to be the hardest to convince. I think at this stage in the game, I am the oldest at 46. So everybody is pretty much in their own thing already. So I don't push that. Like I said, when you have me in your circle, I'm going to be your biggest fan. So I'm going to support and encourage what is for you. But I do for my little cousins, my nieces and my nephews, and I do send tech related courses and toys and things of that nature. Um, so I do push it, but I push it in edible chunks, so it doesn't seem like I'm overwhelming them. So like if there's like a robotics camp and it's ages 16 to 17, I'll send that to my cousin because he has a son that age, and that's something that he can go on them with. However, because we are across time zones, it's kind of hard to have those conversations all the time. So yeah, I try my best, and if they have questions, I'm there. And my friends and my extended family, um, I think sometimes people, they make it more than what it is. Like I have some very intelligent friends, and some of them just like they're like, "Ooh, tech," ooh. And they're making good money in their respective industries, but it's just like, if they want to know we're here, if it's some tech related, they'll call. But it is what it is.
Mm. For me, I encourage it, but people don't hop on. That's where it's at. I try to show different things, even even going to uh just different environments. People are like, what you do for a living, and you talk and you tell them like, hey, you can get in, and people be like, no, I can't do it, and you like, okay, well, you don't want to, and I don't know what else to tell you, and that's where it's at, and keep pushing. So that's how I do that. Tulip mania was the boom and the bust of the tulip bulbs that took place in the 17th century when the Dutch investors purchased tulips, pushing their prices to unprecedented highs. True story. I'm not.
Oh, I can imagine that tulips. I mean, I don't know how many people have been to Amsterdam, but I mean, they're so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Those tulips, how they have them laid all across the city, they are gorgeous.
Yep. And the other thing about pushing family into tech is just understanding like what skill sets do they have and where
Yeah,
would they best be utilized in tech. So that requires you to do some searching to say, hey, I noticed that you're really good at financing, and I noticed that you want to get in tech. Have you ever considered maybe working at a fintech company and help them with their compliance or whatever the case may be? Just different things, right? You just saw prop tech, right? Well, we're automating, the person. I could see automating the real estate agent as well too, easily.
yeah. I know I have a cousin of mine that has a e-commerce business, and you know, she talked about the physicality of having that business, and she was part of her business model was a drop ship, but me encouraging her to learn the ins and out of Shopify, which is technical, and to learn that she was trying to look at these tutorials and manage her store from her cell phone, and getting her set up, her home office set up in order to grow her business. Like, you're going to have to invest in a laptop, You're not going to be able to do this from a tablet or your cell phone. And encouraging, her to set out some time every day and how to build that system. So you do what you can with within what they have, but sometimes your family is just like everybody else. Sometimes they're receptive, sometimes they're not. I know, like, I got my mom a tablet, and it was in the drawer. It became my brother's tablet, those type of things. And I try to, I think all of us do tech support for our parents in some respect. And, I try to be as patient as possible and get them to use technology in a way, but they still like to go knock on doors and show up and go to an office. But during the pandemic, it was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna need you to take a breath and listen, and let me walk you through these steps. So hey,
Well, what's your plan after this? I wonder what everybody's doing after this. Is anybody studying?
the fish place was closed yesterday, so I still have a taste for some fish. I want to have some of that. I think I might go by the bank. I definitely need to. Oh, I want to make some stuff for my face. I am into DIY skincare and stuff for your body. So I'm going to make some hyaluronic acid with some niacinamide in there. I have that set out and all my stuff sterilized. So I'm gonna do that today. And then I have, when the night falls, I'll have a lot of stuff to do for women in Linux. I'm gonna be in the office because I hadn't been in the office all week. So I'm gonna be in my office and be looking at that stuff
Talking about downtown?
and getting some stuff done. The Patreon, our new website platform, reading some
Oh yeah,
emails.
we need to go. We need to do a show for binary hustlers too.
I didn't hear you.
Binary hustlers.
Yeah, we need to get that mapped out. But until we need to get a schedule for you. So also we got to get Tam moved to her new location swiftly. So hopefully she'll be looking at that stuff today later on, and so we can put some one-on-ones on the schedule for everyone.
Sasha, what do you mean? You said you got blocked. I got blocked sharing diverse tech info, free courses, etc. Like who blocked you? That's interesting. Congratulations on taking your notes in Vim. That's right. Alexa here to learn says enjoying having a Saturday off. Thank you, ladies. Very informative. You're welcome for both shows there. Um, yeah, I want to know. Oh, they blocked you on
Oh,
the
they blocked
private
you from
text.
texting.
They like, we don't care nothing about that girl.
Well, you know what's so funny? And I was thinking about this today, and I'm pretty sure my mother and my father, they are not together, but they are definitely good friends. They call me the elusive white deer, and I had to look that up because I was thinking, elusive was, more negative because I'm in my feelings about some stuff, but I'm just like, I'm not elusive. Just kind of Google me. We come from the boomer generation, and I think some of them, some of them
They
are still
they
silent. Huh?
they they come from the boomer generation. You
Just
said
okay. They come from the boomer
no, you
generation,
said
and I
we.
think. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. They
On
are
age, we.
still the silent generation, and I often ponder why they don't just call me when they're having these conversations and ask me, what am I doing or what's going on with me? Like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall when they're having like a conversation about me and what I'm doing in the world. But I guess when you are you go your own path, and you move away from home, and they don't see you every day, and they don't really understand your journey, because I don't share a lot of entrepreneurial things on purpose, because it's just an energy. that you put out there. And when people have been working their whole lives and are looking for a pension and all that other good stuff, it, it, like Tam said earlier, like you have to just kind of be careful of that energy. And sometimes I just don't want to hear it. But I guess it's, I'm special. I'm special. So I'm going to take I'm special. But I'm going to ask them to clarify that for me because it's on my spirit today.
Or just toss it aside and
I've
toss it
learned, and
aside.
it's part of my healing
I mean,
to
I got that. I know where you're
not
going.
compartmentalize things like I want
I
to
get
hear it.
it. I get it.
I'm just curious about what that is.
And
Because it's not the first time I've heard it.
if they anything like the one that was just standing beside me, you know what you're talking about.
No, they're a little different than that. I mean, you've been around my mom and you've been around my dad, and they're definitely different than that. But they definitely have some.
Mine be like, I ain't say that.
Yeah, my dad is from that old school where I gotta call him, and I'm just like, well, if you don't hear from me, you're not gonna check on me or nothing. Like, where did I go? So, and my mom she's my mother. I'm the mother she never had. So it's like a role reversal there.
Yep. And Sasha, back to what you were saying about the 20-year-olds, right? So this was someone had asked me months ago, years ago, and even months ago. And I just don't, we talked about it before. It's the material things that influence the younger generation. Like, you got to see the material things, like the things that you like. The material things are the things that you have accomplished, right? And so when people start seeing that, that's when they believe you. And I've noticed that that's the trend across social media. Like, I need to show you my success in a form of something that you understand or that you agree with, right? And when I say that, like, oh, if I went outside and were like, okay, um here is the set of townhomes I bought on this block, and here's where I constructed how I brokered the deal or whatnot, right? Does that matter to you? I don't know, right? Does that start to, and it's what I was talking about earlier, does that start to bring in the skepticism, right? When I say that, I'm speaking to like, how people will be like, oh, they over there selling courses and we went and dug up XYZ.
Yeah, it's definitely I'm thinking to myself, like, it's definitely a double-edged sword. It's just like, some people are there to congratulate you and just like, man, you doing this, I want to do it too. But because there are so many frauds out there and so many skeptics, some people are just going to pick you apart, and it's their job to see if this is something that you're really doing. And sometimes if you understand business and how to structure deals, which is another conversation, sometimes things won't even be in your name personally, or they may be in different business entities that are still not in your name, and people will still try to pick that apart. My philosophy is, as long as I'm not calling you begging for nothing, leave me alone. Like, I'm not calling you begging. I'm not asking you to pay anything for me. You should see that as a success, and also it's one of those slippery slopes when you are gifting things to family members. Like, my biggest thing for me that I can do is teach people how to fish and help them be successful based on what I know. Like I said with my cousin, structuring business, helping her with that, investing in that business. But you know, I would love to buy my mother a car, but at this stage and age, she's a crabby driver. Like, she's road rage. I've seen it with my own eyes. I rather get her a Uber account. You know, that's what, that type of thing. Like, you have to know what you're getting into. You have to know that particular person, and sometimes it's not about the stuff. And then there's some people, you know, depending on your families, that'll come out and be always with their hand out. You know, some people will be just like, you offer them something, they'll be, you know, prideful about accepting things and that type of stuff. So, you know, you just got to consider this, the source, and stay on your path, and to always check where your heart is in wanting to provide for others, whether it's family, it's friends, or total strangers. Like, what is your purpose? What are you doing it for? Is it something that you really are doing from the bottom of your heart, or you know, you want some type of accolades for? um you know, you got to consider that.
So here
What
it
you
is.
got up? I don't like that one.
You don't like that one? That's the one.
I guess I don't like that color, but I know where that's at. It's a little, I don't know. Probably have to see it in person.
To be 12.
Yeah, I have to see that in person because it's a little long. You know, I'm a Ferrari California fan. That one's a little long for me. I probably would want to see it in another color, but because the Porsche is in red, and it took a little while for me to get used to your car in that red color, that one looks a little awkward. But I know Ferrari is known for their red color, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
2010.
know. You want me to go look at it for you?
No. No.
You don't want me to go look at it for you?
No.
I can go look at it for you. I can go tell you how to drive.
They ain't gonna let you ride it.
I know they're not gonna let me drive it.
They gotta
But if I
say the
lay
miles.
out in the road, they will open up that glass.
They gotta say the miles.
They will open up the glass and definitely let it start up.
And this didn't do nothing for me.
She's
See,
chunky.
she looked good in the front, but on the side, I'm like, eh.
You know what? She's not gonna let me. The place where it's at, they won't require me to wear gloves. That's just bougie Tam in her gloves.
If I call up there and tell you put on gloves, don't let her touch without the gloves. But yeah, I don't know, right? Um, you know, a lot of people. I can't. I mean, do I want to show you stuff? Not really. Yes and no. Um, again, now, I am not saying protecting your space and stuff like that. It's just, you know, then people start wanting to investigate, and you know, you're right. Go to Evelyn. It could create danger. It reveal, but on the other hand, it reveals what is possible, right? Um, I don't know if he's the truth or not. Um, we're gonna see what they say. Uh, HGTV is in the area, and we have property, and they're looking to buy the property and put
But also, I think
a house
success
on
is
it.
relative. What you consider successful might not be the things. It might not be the stuff. You know, some people might not be interested in cars like that. They might want a boat,
Well,
or
I
they
wasn't
might
talking
want
about cars.
stocks,
I
or
wasn't
they
talking about.
might want to
I wasn't talking about
create a
cars.
legacy for their family, and they acquire land, you know,
Okay,
property and stuff like that. It might, success for them might be able to, you know, live comfortably with, and have a nice roof over their head, and a modest house, and you know, not rob Peter to pay Paul.
okay,
So, you know, everybody's, what they consider success is different.
Okay, so can I go back and finish now?
I don't know. I told you I can't hear you. I was talking
Oh,
too.
oh, yeah, I was still talking. So, what
When
I
you go backwards, it's hard to hear you.
okay, so I was talking, and I was saying that the HDTV folks, I don't know if they're real, but I went and looked them up, right? So HDTV is on this mass blitz for um California, well, not California, but Texas and Florida, and they're buying up land so they can have stuff to build their shows on, right? So they're looking for that. So it, so yeah, there's, success comes in different forms. But this goes, this is going back to what Sasha was talking about, that her cousins in her 20s blocked her. And I think sometimes it may come from that as success. Like, people are the age, right? The generation. Like, you showing your mom you have this thing, be like, she don't care about that. But you show her, like, hey, I saved, you know, $2 million, and she might be like, oh, okay. Okay, okay. Like, I don't know. Uh, each generation and each person is different. What matters to one doesn't matter to the other, and you just have to, if you want people to be in tech, you got to find that balance. That's a hard balance. In terms of how you share the information, right? Is it something that's in bite-sized chunks for someone to get, right? So that's where I go with that. D, you still there? Or did you leave? It look like you're not there.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you can come back up. I don't know why I'm on the center screen, but okay. You're back. All right, that's all I had. We're gonna let you get your food and do your thing. Yep, I know somebody had mentioned that Michelle's study group is at 5 o'clock. Yeah. Um, I'm not sure. How is that study group growing? I haven't peeked in and checked out anything. Are y'all on a path? Have y'all what? How many chapters have you covered? Because I think she started like 3 weeks ago, and you guys are meeting every Saturday. So I don't know if you're doing a chapter a week or 2 chapters a week, or is anybody going? No. Okay. I guess not.
Well, people trying to type.
Oh, I'll give him time then. I don't think so, D. I think it's
All
a wrap.
right.
Yep. All right. Y'all be safe. We'll catch up with you. See you later.